You're aiming way too much in Warzone and it's causing you to lose gunfights. So here are 4 tips you can use today to work on your centering in Warzone. Make sure you stick around for the last one because number 4 is one that every single controller player in Warzone needs to work on. There's a reason good players, streamers, and Warzone pro players look like they have sticky aim. It's called centering. They're using their hipfire reticle to center on an enemy target prior to ADSing, and then they're using the right stick only to control the recoil. Number 1, dialing in your hipfire sensitivity. Most of the best players play between 6.6 and 8.8. What's more important than your specific sensitivity number is that you practice on your sensitivity. You need to be able to snap to a target no matter what direction they're in, and doing it while running, while sliding, while jumping, while proning. Tip number 2, learning to abuse rotational aim assist. Rotational aim assist can react to micro movements faster than you can. It's instantaneous. But the trick is you have to be moving left, right, or diagonal to engage your rotational aim assist. Moving forwards and backwards on your left stick does not engage rotational aim assist. You have to be moving left, right, and diagonal. But it's also just good practice to be moving during gunfights anyways. So learn to abuse the stickiness of rotational aim assist to keep you on target rather than you trying to manually do it yourself. And you want to make sure you're using your right stick only to control the recoil. We do this by centering with our hipfire reticle prior to ADSing. That way, once you ADS in, you don't have to manually aim anymore. All you're doing from that point forward is controlling the recoil. Make sure you hit that follow button because in the next guide video, we're going to talk about the ultimate counter to camera breakers and movement players, recentering. Tip number 3, learn to hipfire more during your gunfights. This is going to help your centering and your recentering, but also it's just good practice to know how to hipfire because there's going to be situations where you're just too close to aim down sights, and you can practice hipfiring either in the firing range, in a private match against bots, or even just loading into a game of plunder and going around doing nothing but hip-firing people until you're used to using hip-fire correctly. Make sure you start hip-firing before you ADS, for the simple fact that shooting first normally wins gunfights. That extra damage you put out before you aim down sights could be the difference between winning and losing the gunfight. And tip number 4 is one that every controller player in Warzone needs to work on. Stop aiming at the ground. Aim where you expect your targets to be. When you're moving around the map, you need to be aiming where you expect your enemies to be. And I promise you, they're probably not at your feet on the floor right in front of you. Those precious milliseconds you spend trying to center on your enemy are seconds they can be shooting you in the face because they know you're there. And against a good player, those milliseconds can mean the difference between life and death. So please start pre-aiming in places you think enemies are going to be. And make sure you send this to one of your roller friends who's always staring at the ground while they run around the map.